If this ain't among some of the most racist, white supremacist, stereotypical things I've ever heard of, I don't know what is, but I'm really not surprised by this at all because I know that we in a system of racism, white supremacy. So here we have it. A black sister goes to the hospital, a doctor's office, and she takes a blood sample. And instead of them putting her name, her actual God given name on that blood sample, they come back with the name King Kong on the blood sample. And they did a bunch of explaining, this, that, and the other, trying to, justify why they messed up and put the wrong name on there. And they didn't mess up. In all actuality, they did this with anti-black racism on the brain because, in a white supremacist mindset and, white supremacist collaborators, people who lend assistance to the system of racism, white supremacy, they in their mindset think that all black people are apes and monkeys anyway. But if you shave a monkey or ape's fur off, what color is that monkey or that ape up under that fur? That monkey or that ape is pink. Need I say more? So I got the audio and the video of our sister being racially targeted at the doctor's office, which is a bunch of nonsense. And we're going to walk through and talk about this thing how we normally do, family. Fair use.
Um, can you tell me what's wrong with this sample?
Oh my god, I'm sorry.
Can you understand as a black woman why I would have a problem with that?
Yeah, I can double check who.
How could that be a mistake? Because this King, that's my last name, right? Comma.
And side note, 9 times out of 10, the majority of black folks who go into these doctors' offices come out with horror stories anyway. There's all types of stories of black people getting malpractices done to them, mistreated, misused, and abused at these doctors' offices, which is a bunch of nonsense. But let's continue.
Would be my first name, correct?
Yeah.
How do you misspell Kierra as Kong? That's insane.
Yeah, I can double check who did that. I'm honestly not sure who printed that.
Go ahead.
Yeah, sorry. Previously, we've never had any sort of issue like that. I understand where you're coming from.
I'm on fire. I'm on fire right now.
As you should be, my sister, because in all actuality, this sister knows that, her gut feeling is right. She knows that they done this, displaying their anti-black racism on things, just as well as I do. But let's continue.
That's unacceptable. And even if it is a typo, which if they want to pull that and say that that's what it was, how? Seriously?
Yeah, honestly, I'm not sure how that happened.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So are you able to go in and see who did it, what? Because was that in my chart? How does that happen?
Let me double check. No, that's not anywhere in the chart. I do see your name is listed, Kierra King, which let me see.
Right. That's reportable. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
That's
Yeah, I'm so sorry about that. Let me just try to get more information, okay? I do apologize. Again, it wasn't me who printed that label.
I understand.
I'm not sure how it happened.
I understand. I cannot walk out of this office without raising that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Up as a concern.
You justified and, speaking your truth to power, sister, because that's why I don't sit right with your gut, because in all actuality, you know that they, playing the game of racism, white supremacy, and displaying their anti-black racism on things. But let's continue.
Because what do you mean? That's a black woman comes into, right?
Mm-hmm.
Doctor's office seeking care to be taken care of, and they receive.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay, let me just try to get a little bit more info, okay?
Thank you.
I'll be right back. Medical assistant helping you today?
Uh-huh.
So she's just...
It was, I see that I put the name...
Now, this is the medical assistant. She's doing a bunch of explaining. And this is, truth be told, the one who actually put that name on that bottle. She's doing a bunch of explaining and justification as to why she didn't put our sister's God-given name on there, but instead put King Kong. And, to me, she done this with racism, anti-black racism on the brain. Truth be told, this is why she done this. And she deserves to be fired. And our sister got a hefty lawsuit on her hands because she know good and well she didn't, get the names mixed up or whatever excuse she gave. She knows she done it in all actuality with anti-black racism on the brain. And truth be told, she sounds like a white woman or a white Latino, if you ask me. And white Latinos are just as complicit in the system of racism, white supremacy. Truth be told, they lend assistance to the system of racism, white supremacy. But let's continue.
Incorrect on there. It wasn't really my intentions to do that. Your name on there is not what it seems on there. Like I did mention to her, and she did mention to me that you want this all recorded. That is totally fine. It wasn't really my intention to put your name like that.
Sure, it wasn't your intention. She could miss me with that. She done this with anti-black racism on the brain. She could try to flip it and say I'm put the wrong name, this, that, and the other, but I ain't buying it. Neither is this sister. So this is why she's giving pushback. So she's justified in her gut feeling, if you ask me.
I did give it to you, and we were double checking it to see if it was incorrect or correct. We didn't mention anything.
We didn't double check anything. You said, have you done a sample like this before?
Have you done a sample, and then I gave it to you, and you went to the restroom.
Correct. So why are you saying that we were checking the name?
We were checking the name because I asked if it was incorrect.
When all else fails, when you back a white supremacist in a corner or a white supremacist collaborators, when all else fails, the rule in their playbook is to lie, which clearly this worker at this doctor's office is doing. She blatantly lying, and the sister knows she lying. That's why she calling her out on her nonsense. But let's continue.
Correct or
no, you didn't.
Okay, but
no, you did not.
Okay.
You said we walked to the door. Correct me if I'm wrong, please. Correct me if I'm wrong. We walked to the door. You said, "Have you done a sample like this before?" I said, "No," and then I said yes, and then you said, "Okay," and then you opened the door. Right?
You opened the door and I gave it to you.
Correct.
Yeah,
so when did we check the
and
name?
then I gave it to you, and then like I said, it wasn't my intention. I literally just checked my computer just now to see the name, and I was like, I know why she's upset because I put the name on there incorrect. But like I mentioned to her, and I'm gonna mention to you, if you feel some type of way of how I wrote it, and you want to report me, that is totally fine. But like I mentioned, like I'm saying it to both of you, it was really not my intention to put that on there.
So here's my thing. One, I don't understand how you could mistype something like that. I don't understand how you can write Kong instead of Kierra. How did you mistype that?
I was typing. To be honest, I type really fast. I don't double check when I'm typing really fast. I did put your name on there, but for some reason it went to an error. But if, like I mentioned to you, it wasn't.
So I autocorrected from Kierra to Kong. That's crazy.
But
and then additionally, what I have a problem with now is that you're straight up fabricating that we checked the name on the bottle when we did not. Okay. Did we check the name on the bottle?
Like I said, for me, I did check it and I checked it with you, but you.
So you checked it. So you made a typo. You were typing really fast, and then you checked it, and then.
No, I didn't check it. I just put.
So now you didn't check it.
I didn't check it. I just.
This is ridiculous. I'm done with this conversation. Please give me.
Yeah, the sister knows that's a bunch of mumbo jumbo. That's why I don't sit right with her, because truth be told, she know this is anti-black racism just as well as I do. And that woman who so-called misput the name on the bottle, which she didn't. She done it to display her anti-black racism on things. She need to be fired quick, fast, and in a hurry, along with those other people who sat around and, sat on their hands and did absolutely nothing about it. And, if this had been me, truth be told, I'll be owning this doctor's office. That doctor's office would be mine. I sue the pants off of this doctor's office and, message to my sister, get you a good lawyer, because all who were involved in this nonsense deserves to be fired. And you got a hefty lawsuit on your hands for racial discrimination, if you ask me. Just my thoughts on the matter. Peace.